In this work, I have tried to deepen as much as possible the various aspects of the condition of women throughout the Middle Ages, from its beginning in the 5th century to its end in the 15th century AD. The women presented in this work are very different from each other. Some are even literary characters due to the imagination of some of the most famous authors of that time, who, however, deserve to be deepened. Others are real women who have distinguished themselves for particular merits and extraordinary works that have changed the course of history. Obviously, there could not miss the ordinary women, about whom the concept of marriage as it was conceived at that time was deepened. Marriage has been deepened in all its aspects, both the customs and the legal side of Roman law. In addition, the Islamic woman was treated, whose aspect of disparity compared to the man was addressed through the presentation of some of the most famous passages of the Quran, and some Islamic women among the most famous of that time, such as 2 of the 11 wives of the Prophet Muhammad. As mentioned previously, the Middle Ages include the periods of time that from the 5th to the 15th century AD, and it is considered to be one of the 4 historical ages of Europe. Generally, the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD and the discovery of America in 1492 are taken as reference points. Part of the influence on the role of women in the Middle Ages was exercised by the Roman Catholic Church, which contributed to the cultural unification of the society. In any case, when monasticism was established, many things changed for some women who could aspire to an education. The abbesses then became important personalities, as they could maintain private property on the land and often ruled different monasteries, both male and female. An important figure in this file is certainly Hilda of Whitby, who acquired importance on an international scale. After the barbarian invasions began to make dramatic the conditions of the people of the Western Roman Empire, they went to create various ecclesiastical and religious institutions that would later prove to be a strength for the creation of a new civilization. Among these, monasticism is perhaps the most important. However, the inspiration came from the Middle East, because religious asceticism and monastic life were not peculiar to Christianity at first. In the Middle Ages, women were mainly involved in the preparation of provisions, bread, drinks such as beer, and especially weaving for the preparation of linen or for the packaging of clothes. Another important female activity that was not specially trained was obstetrics. In fact, only in the 17th century were the foundation of modern obstetrics introduced. Previously, the activity of gynecologists was carried out by midwives or so only women. This fight soon clashed with the spread of deadly infections. Childbirth caused a high mortality rate due to the purpura fever or childbirth fever. Often the presence of hospitals did not improve the situation at all, given the poor hygienic conditions. In fact, it was advisable to give birth a home. The first to introduce hand disinfections before surgery was Iñak full of Semmelweis, a Hungarian doctor, although his theory was not taken seriously immediately. It was only in 1879 that his discovery was declared effective. The life expectancy of a woman was much lower than that of a man, often no more than 25 years. It was normal that in a village there were 4 men for every 3 women. Low-class women married very young, at a fertile age, most of the time not with those they preferred, and had many children in the course of their lives, even more than them, who obviously had to be cared for, fed, and educated by them. The aristocratic women, on the other hand, lived in an area dedicated to them, the Gymnasium, where they worked on purely feminine works, such as embroidery and weaving. The girls were sent to live with the family of the boyfriend until they reached the fertile age to marry. The fathers were responsible for organizing engagements with those they considered adequate, often to maintain power and wealth. The imposition of their will on the younger generation, both male and female, prevented any kind of rebellion. Within the aristocracy, the literary idyll of courtiers' love developed in the 12th and 13th century. It was elaborated in the language of Hoyle and the language of Hoff, two ancient languages that gave rise to today's French. The aristocratic component was essential. Usually the works were inspired by a couple composed of a brave knight, however noble, and a lady of higher rank, wife of a lord of a field. A relationship of love vassalage is established between the two lovers. Vassalage was a type of agreement widespread in the Middle Ages, in which mutual services were conferred, generally between an individual of inferior condition and a superior one. This type of love was defined as courteous because it was born and exhausted within the court. Usually, the knight swore allegiance to the lady with whom he was in love, offering her services and military undertakings, dedicating her verses, or at least showing her value on the battlefield.